Hey, what's up, guys? I just thought I'd make a sort of new, different style video here. I know you're looking at this like, what the hell is he doing? But yeah, I figured I would go ahead and make a sort of review series here. I don't know how long I'll be doing movie reviews. Probably not very long. The Ninja Turtles thing was sort of a rare instance because looking back, there really wasn't any Ninja Turtle stuff on my YouTube channel. So I figured I would go ahead and do some reviews on Ninja Turtles, being as there's a lack of Mortal Kombat news going on, and I know most of you guys watch me for, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, stuff like that. But because there's not really any more news, any big news that I can actually talk about, I figured I would talk about something else that I've never really talked about, and it was actually a decent part of my childhood, which was the Ninja Turtles. And since I have this DVD, I actually found this rummaging through a bunch of old chest drawers that I had at my old house, not my dad's house that I've shown before, but a house I lived at before I moved out there. Um, Most of you, and by most of you I mean probably 99% of you, have never seen that house because that was on my old YouTube channel. I had stuff from that house, but I don't have that YouTube channel anymore. So, but going through some stuff I had there, and I seen this Ninja Turtles movie, I was like, oh, I was wondering where that went, and I'll talk more about that. Um, I'm only a minute and 40 in, but I do want to say, for those of you who are watching this for an actual review and you really want to know my thoughts, I am going to give you a condensed, quick version right now because I'm going to have a lot to say, and there is no restriction to how long this video will go for, so who knows how long this will go for. But the condensed, quick version, for those of you who don't want to waste however many minutes of your life watching me, then by all means. Quick version, what more can I say about this movie? It's a classic. Still a good movie today. It still holds up. It's, a fun movie. It's still mature for the adult fan base. So it's not like you're going into this and it's like Ninja Turtles 2 with the burping and all that and the farting. I think there's farting in there maybe. I don't remember. It's been quite a long time since I saw Ninja Turtles 2. I do own it. I don't have some of those Ninja Turtle movies here, but if I do get them back here, I will most definitely put them on screen like I have it now. But overall, this movie, it's classic. It's good. I mean, there's really, if you want to hear the faults I have with it, stick with this video. If not, you feel free to close out. And again, like I said, this might be a long video. I can almost guarantee it'll be long. So, forewarned. Um, but yeah, this was the first DVD I ever bought, which is kind of interesting. Um, I'll go ahead and show it to you in a bit. I want to tell you a bit of a back history with me and Ninja Turtles first. And then I'll tell you about the back history to the movie. Then I'll show you around the movie. And then basically after that, I'll just give my thoughts on the movie. And then close it out. So, history of Ninja Turtles, first of all. First time I ever saw anything with really Ninja Turtles base was when it was airing new episodes on CBS. Now, by the time I was getting into Ninja Turtles, it was pretty much dying off. Probably around the Red Sky seasons. So, roughly around seasons 8, 9, and 10. So, I mean, I was getting into it when it was dying. Okay, I was born in 1989, so, I didn't have much of a chance, unlike people who may have grown up in the really early 80s, to really grasp the show. I mean, I grew up, from 1989 till 97, and out of those years that I can remember, maybe between 94 or 95 through 97, and I would say only around 96, 97 was when I was watching Ninja Turtles, maybe 95. So, um, but the first time I ever saw anything with Ninja Turtles, aside from, knowing the cartoon, I had a VHS tape from Family Home Entertainment, that classic FHE thing at the beginning. I seen that the other day, and it was really nostalgic. But anyway, I remember seeing that. They had a Burger King Kids Club, so they must have had some kind of thing with Burger King. Actually, there's something in the film apparently someone was eating Burger King, so I guess there was a Burger King sort of deal in there. Um, and I had this tape, and I'd watch it all the time, but I would also watch it when it was aired on CBS. Now that it was a temporary time, as far as I know, the cartoon was temporarily aired on CBS. I think it used to be on a different network. I think. I'm just going through history I've read on the internet and people's videos I've watched. But regardless, when I was watching it, then I had a VHS tape. So this must have been kind of after the whole Ninja Turtles thing had kind of ran its course, and I had one of the tapes. I don't remember what the episodes were. I don't have it in the slightest. But I do remember that FHE logo, the Burger King Kids Club. And I remember Burger King Kids Club because we didn't have Burger King around my area. So I was always disappointed that I could never do those things. But the other thing being was this, the Ninja Turtles movie trailer. Now, it wouldn't be until another 6 or 7 years probably till I'd get to actually see it. I believe it was in 2001 or 2002 that, it might have been 2001, I had saw the movie sitting at my cousin's house. We were going through some movies, I think, and he had a bunch of Nickelodeon movies, and I really didn't care about that stuff. I was about 11 or 12 years old at the time. Didn't really care about that. And we went downstairs, and his parents keep a bunch of these movies in this like little chest cabinet. And there were some home movies, and one movie that had a case in it that was just kind of buried in there was the Ninja Turtles movie. And I remember, like I said, watching it on that tape. Um, I just always got to see the trailer, but I always thought the trailer was really cool. But I'd never seen the movie until then. So again, flash forward to this time, my cousin said, "Yo, I got Ninja Turtle," and I said, "Oh, you got Ninja Turtles." And I said, "You want to watch it?" And he goes, "Oh, sure, I guess so." And we watched it. And I believe we only watched it once. I actually had this discussion with my cousin last week. I went up uh, out of the city or out of town here to visit him where he lives, and I asked him about that. I said, "Oh yeah, I remember," because I was wearing my Ninja Turtle shirt, and I didn't wear it today for this video because I wore it, last week, and it's just not fit to wear. I haven't washed it yet, so um, otherwise I would have shown it. But I was wearing that, and I was saying, "Oh yeah, you remember when we watched that Ninja Turtles tape?" And he goes, "Oh yeah," and I remember I think we only watched it once, and I thought we'd watched it more than once, but apparently that wasn't the case. But before I got this DVD, though, I got that tape. I watched that tape, and it was his cousin's tape, I believe, and he borrowed it off him. Now my cousin's about 2 years older, or 2 years, excuse me, younger than me. So I don't know if he really had a connection with the Ninja Turtles at all. I never really thought to ask, but he had mentioned that he had borrowed it, and I asked him. I didn't think he'd let me do it, but I asked him. I said, would you care if I borrowed that tape? Because I don't think we finished it. I think we watched half of it, and then, but I loved it. And I remember, I don't think we ever finished it. And so he let me borrow it, and I watched it at home. And he still lives in the same spot. So he lives about an hour away from me. So, and we don't ever really meet up unless it's family occasions. So, by that time I'd seen it a lot. And I loved it so much, but I knew I had to give it back. And, DVDs were coming out, and then they had that at Walmart for $10, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles DVD. I'll show some more on it later, but that's when I finally owned it. I loved the movie. I ended up buying it. Now, when I first bought this DVD, this is sort of when I first got my first computer, which was a family's first computer, being me and my mom. And at the time, I was told that had DVD playback. Now, of course, nowadays everything has DVD playback pretty much. Your PlayStations, your computers, and most of the DVD drives you buy nowadays, that they work right out of the box, no problem. But if you've ever bought anything Blu-ray, especially something like a Blu-ray drive, a lot of times you need software. Now, this is back in the day. Picture how hot Blu-ray is now. That's how hot DVDs were back then. So it was still a new technology, especially in PCs. So at the time, I was told it had DVD playback. I put this DVD in, didn't work. So I took it back. I just thought it was broken or something. So I got this, and it still didn't work. And the people at Walmart just kept saying, "Oh, you'll just have to exchange it for the same movie." So I just came to the conclusion that I didn't really have a DVD player built into my computer, or disk drive. And so for a while I didn't ever watch it. And then in 2002, I bought a DVD player. I finally just had some money saved. They were selling those cheap $40 Apex DVD players. Some of you guys who are first getting into DVDs, you probably remember them. But they had those, and I bought one. And then I think I bought maybe one or two DVDs. I bought a Yu-Gi-Oh DVD, and I think it was 9 months was the other one. Um, but I had the Ninja Turtle movie, and I could finally watch it whenever I wanted, which was nice. But that was sort of the story behind me getting this. And this was my very first DVD, if I haven't already mentioned that. And it's the older style, because you can see that black thing on the side, which is actually like a clip or whatever, which I'll show here in a second. But that was pretty much my experience with the Ninja Turtles. Um, and then later on, I had watched the show on TV, but I mean, and then other than that, the movie and the TV show was really the only thing I had. I didn't grow up watching Ninja Turtles 2 or 3 or any of that other stuff. It wasn't until, I believe, later that year, um, might have been in 2003 actually, because this was around when the Ninja Turtles 2003 cartoon was coming out. I ended up buying the second movie and third movie around the same time in the summer. But they had white cases, and they had a full screen and widescreen option built into the DVD versus how this is, which I'll show in a second. And I'll give you guys my thoughts on those later. But for right now, I'm just going to do the first movie. So I mean that's my history with the movie. Now I guess I'll go ahead and show off the movie itself. Just let me go ahead and somewhat get in frame here. So here's the movie if you wanted to get a closer look at it. The original movie. Now I'll just go ahead and show the back first. So here's the back of the movie. And if I get it in the right light, you can see that there's creases in it. And like I said, that those chest drawers that it was in, it kind of got crushed a little. It still works, I'm sure. But there you go. Yeah, I'm going to I have to kind of watch my webcam and do this at the same time. So I'm going to see what to read on here. Yeah, so as you can see, oh man, this is so weird. It might be blurry. I'm not sure. I think it's because I have it zoomed in. Hang on, let me zoom out to make the clarity a little bit better for you. That probably didn't help for shit, but anyway, it says widescreen and full frame versions on here. The next line says the original trailer, which is right there. Original trailer, which is what I saw on that old VHS tape. New Line previews, so it's just a bunch of ads for New Line Cinema movies. The original Sewer Maze game, which is a big crock of shit. It was cool back then if you're a kid or something, but it's pretty much of a joke of a game. Okay, you got the T-Files, Turtle Biographies, which again are kind of a bit of a joke. I mean, they're okay, but it's like, who cares? And Dolby Digital 5.1 multi-channel surround sound. And it says and more, but I really don't think that's it. I think the and more is just like interactive menus and French and Spanish. Like, it's just shit like that that's not listed on there. That they used to do with DVDs and stuff. But then it's got the quotes here. If you want to read those, I'm sure those aren't hard to read. And then, let's see. And what looks like the movie synopsis here. So here's what the menus look like. It's pretty basic. They're interactive. That was sort of a gimmick they were using at the time, like, oh hey man, these menus are interactive, which like who cares? Yeah, actually, it even I just now happened to read that. See, I was not bullshitting you. That was actually, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's because it was DVD. It was a new sort of thing. You never had menus in VHS. So it's kind of cool, but it's a fucking gimmick. Nobody puts that on their shit now. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of corny, really. Um, I'm just looking at the back of this DVD to see if there's anything I've missed or anything extra to talk about. Doesn't look like there is. But anyway, here's this snap piece. So here's the movie again. Here's the snap piece. It just opens up like this. I don't know how it actually latches, but it opens up like this. And right here, you can see all this. Of course, it says the special features in a bit bigger text. And of course, some advertisement shit for their movies, the T-files and the theatrical trailer. And then here's a chapter select, a chapter index, I should say, which you can see all that in the menu, obviously. Pretty basic stuff. Got a picture of Leonardo. You got Raph and April. And Casey Jones. Right there. And there's even cleaning tips for how to clean your DVD right there. It even has an instructional thing here at the bottom. Access Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles special features by pressing the menu on your DVD player remote control. So again, it's just a very basic DVD. Like I said, I just kind of showed this for novelty purposes. Some people may not have seen an old DVD for all I know. But this is what the old Ninja Turtles DVD looked like. The original. Now, also, as you can see here, it's not a copied disc or anything. This is how they look. So it's really, really hard to read. You're not going to be able to read it, I don't think. But it says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I believe it says which side it is. It'll say the widescreen side or the full screen side. I gotta find where it says it at. I mean, regardless, that's what it says. Flip this side up for widescreen, this side up for full screen, is basically what it says. But it's pretty scratched, but I can't remember which side's worse, honestly. This side looks a little bit better. But this side looks like shit. And of course you saw a reflection of me, which was probably... Sorry, I was just looking at this cover real quick. I was just looking at something on it. I'm just reading over this to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, I mean, there's the overview of the movie. I mean, as far as my history, go ahead and try and set this back here. Go ahead and zoom back in. Of course, everything looks like a mess over there, so just bear with me here. Oh, well, that looks about like what I had it. So there you go. Now to talk about the movie. The movie was pretty good. I mean, what more can I say? The only complaints, I'll just go into the complaints I have, because other than this, I don't have any complaints with the movie. Soundtrack was awesome. 90% of the casting was awesome. I mean, there really wasn't any character I downright hated. There are some problems with the movie, but it's very minimal, and it was something that someone pointed out. I never really thought about it before, but I do see it as being a problem. Where Donatello and Michelangelo are sort of carbon copy characters, And by that, I mean Donatello is the carbon copy character, being a carbon copy of Michelangelo. They should have made him more like a scientist or smart or geeky, but they never really did that in this movie. They just made him sort of another Michelangelo, just had him joking around. Um, the voice cast I thought was pretty good. If you want to know who my favorite Ninja Turtle is, it alternates. I mean, growing up, I don't think I really had a favorite. As far as the action figures, I had two action figures, which was Leonardo and Raphael. So I guess I sort of attached myself to Raphael as being, I guess, my favorite. And then later on, growing up, when I started buying these on DVD, I had a buddy of mine who, was also getting into them, but he would just watch them at my house and everything. And, since we were really close friends, I always said I liked Michelangelo because he was funny. And he was always, got the better grades and whatnot in school. He was sort of nerdier, so he always considered himself Donatello because they were, really good friends. At least in this movie. So we always just said, okay, my favorite character is Michelangelo, his was Donatello, and I sort of ran with that for a while, but I mean, I sort of identify myself with both Raphael and Michelangelo, you know. So, I mean, that's just, it is what it is. So, I like both characters. And Donatello, I mean, I can tell you right now, it's Michelangelo and Raph are pretty much tied for me. And then I would say Donatello, and then Leonardo. I'm not a big Leonardo fan. I think his weapons are cool, the katanas, but I just don't think he's that good of a character, really. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Again, if you like Leonardo, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, there's not much left to say other than that. Some people asked about the voice cast. I know there are some people who don't really care for Corey Feldman. I thought he was fine. I just think he needed to be written as more of a scientist, is all. But I never hated his voice, and I never really preferred the second guy's voice over him. I do like the second guy. I think they're both good voice actors. I don't really have a favorite. And I thought it was great that Corey Feldman came back for the third movie. So that's that. Um, I mean, there's really not much left for me to say. The Shredder was really cool in this movie. The final battle is awesome. The overall story is really good. One thing to note, for those of you who don't know, this was based off the comics, or more closely the comics. Now, I've never read the comics. That's just something I learned online. But I thought it was really cool that they were able to adapt a comic story, for the kids who grew up on the 80s cartoon. I just thought it was really well done, and all the acting was pretty good. Like I said, really the only problem I have is with what someone else said, was that Corey Feldman's Donatello is just literally a carbon copy of Michelangelo, which I think is kind of crummy. I think they could have done that a little bit better. It's about the only nitpick I have. Other than that, I like Corey Feldman. I liked all the voice acting. Splinter had a great voice actor. I believe that's the same guy who does Elmo, if I remember right. Um, yeah, Judith Hoag as April O'Neil was pretty good. I like Paige Turco as well. I never had a problem with Paige Turco as April O'Neil either. Maybe in the third movie I did a little bit, but that wasn't her fault necessarily. Um, but I thought they were both fine. Um, Casey Jones, Elias Cote as Casey Jones, if I could say that. I always enjoyed him in this. I actually prefer this version of Casey Jones versus the kind of the Clint Eastwood sort of Casey Jones from the 80s cartoon. Yeah, lawbreakers. But whatever. I don't hate Casey Jones, but he's a cool character, and I thought Elias Cotes played him very well. Like I said, Judith Hoag played a decent April O'Neil. Um, I don't know why she was replaced in the second movie. Somebody said that it was um, that Judith Hogue didn't like what they did because there are some things cut in this movie. I don't really know the specifics because I don't have an uncut DVD, but from one of the sources that I'm told that there's a scene with Mikey in the barn when they go out to the country house. There's apparently a cut scene with him punching like a punching bag or something. Um, Also, the part where around that time there's a scene where Raphael goes Splinter, but from what I'm told, that was actually Michelangelo. And apparently, if you zoom in or whatever, he's got the nunchucks strapped to his belt. So I don't know why they voiced Raphael over there. Um, but something that Judith Hogue said, like the Ninja Turtle movie lost its spirit or something, like because they had to cut stuff out or they were editing with it or messing with it too much. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's just what I heard. Um, but I thought she was a good April O'Neil. You know, you got the classic sort of yellow raincoat that she wears heading back to her car or whatever at the beginning, first scene. Um, the Jim Henson, you know, suits for the Ninja Turtles look really good. I think they look good in the second movie. I think they look a little bit more refined in the second movie, but I think they look more realistic, dark and realistic in this movie. I mean, the newer ones, they look a little more cartoony. I think they look better. They do, in a way, look better with the effects and everything, but I like the skin tone and the look of the turtles best in this movie. And you know, it's got a nice classic soundtrack. It definitely reeks of the '90s, especially if you grew up in the '90s. You know, arcades. Uh, you know, just the clothes that everybody wears. It just looks really '90s. But you know, and like I said, it was 1990, so it was almost like the transitional era, you know, from the '80s to the '90s, and it looks more '90s than it does '80s, even though it was just that first year of the '90s. It looks more '90s than '80s, and that's cool. I understand, like I said before, that the Ninja Turtles started off a comic book, and that's apparently what this is, which is cool. I thought it was cool that they made the idea and people could still relate to the movie. You know, uh, you didn't even really have to know anything about the cartoon to like this. You know, I thought Shredder did a good job. Uh, Tatsu did a great job. I thought he was pretty good. There's apparently a scene towards the end when he like beats the shit out of one of the Foot Clan soldiers, and there was something that I learned where there's apparently a cut there, and he was supposed to be dead, but I guess they didn't want that, so they had like this breathing sound effect put in, and he's like, "Are you okay?" You know, and he doesn't respond, but I think he has a breathing noise. So I mean, I'm just trying to throw in tidbits of information for people who didn't know. They're honestly, what more can I say? The only other thing that I can say, another big positive about this over the other movies, is the fact they use their weapons. Because in the second movie, I don't think they use their weapons at all, if I remember right. They're always using like at the beginning scene, they're goofing around at the store and using fucking combat cold cuts. I always thought that was cheesy. But I don't hate the second movie, and whenever I do the video for that, I'll let you guys know what I think about that. But this is the first Ninja Turtles movie. Sort of my first movie review. It didn't go on as long as I thought it would. I actually thought it was going to go to 40 minutes to an hour, but 30 minutes I think is a good stopping point. Well, 29 minutes and 30 seconds, whatever. But close enough to 30 minutes. I think this is a good place to stop because I think I'm just going to ramble on and on. Again, I like the suits, like the acting. The only thing I had a problem with was the Donatello thing and a few of the scenes that were cut. I don't know much more about it. I wish I could give you guys more information. I'm not gonna do a rating because I just think ratings are kind of dumb now. I don't really think it's fair to rate something and say, I think giving my overall opinion um, gives you enough to get the idea. So, overall, Ninja Turtles 1, great movie. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna keep doing some more Ninja Turtle videos just to have something to fill in, since I don't have my Mortal Kombat news or anything really to report. So I'm just gonna kind of do this until I get some stuff to do, and plus I want to put up some Ninja Turtle stuff because of the new movie coming out and everything. I just wanted to put some Ninja Turtle stuff out since I'm on a kick on it right now, and it was something I've never talked about, so I figured it'd be a nice, interesting thing. And then going over the little history of my first DVD. And if you did make it to the end of this video, I want to personally thank you. I really do appreciate it. I know I'm not the most interesting person to listen to or whatever, especially in making videos, but I hope you guys found it at least informative enough. I know not everyone's gonna look forward to me doing Ninja Turtle shit. That's fine. Um, I just wanted to do it because, like I said, I don't have anything of it up, and I figured this would be the best place to start. Um, so yeah, that's it for the first Ninja Turtles review. And I guess I'll see you guys either with the next movie or any other thing Ninja Turtles I decide to do. But as far as movie reviews are concerned, right now I'm just going to do Ninja Turtles. I might do the Mortal Kombat movie. Um, I might even do Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon. I'm just going to give you guys some ideas out there. And, if you want to, you can write what I should do next. Of course, if this is in the future, please don't write what I should do next because chances are I probably already did it, or I may not even be doing YouTube anymore. I may not even be doing movie reviews anymore. I just wanted to do these Ninja Turtle videos, and maybe I'll do the Mortal Kombat movies, and then I don't know what I'll do if I ever do movie reviews again. I just want to Ninja Turtle stuff to my channel, just to spice it up, make a little more variety, and if you did make it through this long, thank you, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I guess that's it. I'll just see you guys for the next video. So, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Peace.